Hello and welcome to another episode of Layback with Betfair. I'm Tom Haylock with Luke the Hurricane White. It's been another massive week. Whitey's still a bit grumpy. We'll touch on that in a minute. Before we do, let's have a look at how we went last week.
He's a freak.
Yeah?
He's a winner. He's a line smasher. He's got the dominant figures over this field already on the board that we've seen.
Yep.
From what I've looked at, a lot of the field are going to have to improve 5 or 6 lengths to even get near it.
I don't care about Eduardo beating Nature Strip in these 1,000, 1,100 metre races when it's not grand final day. Eduardo can do that. He's a bully when Nature Strip's not right. When Nature Strip's right and ready to go, he just beats him. It's as simple as that. If you like I'm Thunderstruck, you've got to give Mr. Brightside a chance. He gets a huge turnaround at the weights. And my best in Sydney race 6, number 12, Fireburn. She'll continue on her winning ways and looks mighty hard to beat.
Yes, Tom. We copped an upgrade at Randwick, can you believe it? From a 10 to a 9. We got a full meeting in, so very good. I thought Bendigo was pretty tricky. Might be talking out of my own pocket, but 5 or 6 of the favourites went down in pretty ordinary fashion there. But overall, though, we saw some very good animals up in Sydney, which we made good arguments about. Highlights, Atotsu, Nature Strip, Fireburn. Fireburn was your best. Our lays are flying. We're yet to lay one, so follow us. Let's keep going.
It's 11 since we've been doing it, mate.
11 in a row. One thing I did note, actually, the BSP results last week were huge, beating Best Tote by 16% for the card, but Nerve, no, not Verve, was 60% better, and Hearsey 38% better. So some big results. Looking forward to having a couple of friendly arguments this week. Hopefully, Sydney can battle the rain and we can actually get the meeting off. But 160 mil predicted over the last 48 hours, Tom. So lay back, enjoy, and let's drop some wizardry.
Yes, I love it. Day 2 of the championships at Randwick, as Whitey said, very, very wet up in Sydney. We'll touch on 3 races at Caulfield as well, some favourites there that we're debating. Can't wait to get stuck into that. The lay bin was a success last week, mates. You're a bit grumpy. You came in hot. You put a few things in the bin. I'm tipping the Sydney weather's staying in there.
Sydney weather is still in the bin.
Yes. What else have we got this week?
Never, ever, ever, ever coming out until we get a full meeting on a good fall. So that's
never coming out then.
It's going to stay there. But the lay bin this week, the stewards fining Brenton of Dulla for a bit of showmanship.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah.
He did nothing wrong. It was just a bit cheeky. We need that promotion for the sport, mate. It's utterly ridiculous. I'm with you there. That's going in the bin.
That's in the bin. I think we need that stuff. Nothing to do with safety. I thought it was great showmanship.
They'll use it in the promos. They'll get good value out of it. Everyone talks about these. We need to promote these stars of racing and stuff. Brenton Abdullah's been through an awful period. He's come back. He's riding so well. Has a little cheeky celebration. They'll use it for the promo and they're fine. Give me
in
a
other
spell.
sports, we all love a larrikin.
I know.
Sure. Like, look at all the... Shane Warne just had 1 billion people watch his funeral, sadly.
Correct.
We need showmanship. And Brenton Abdullah loves it. You know what else I'm putting in the bin?
Here we go.
The AFL time clashes.
Yes.
At the moment.
Oh, this is a big one for me too.
Since someone explained to me how after everything we've gone through in the last 2 years, the person that is writing the fixtures is managing to clash 2 games at the exact same time. And not only that, the derbies aren't even getting their own time slot.
How is the showdown? Friday night always produces a fantastic finish, and it did once again. How has that not got its own time slot? It's probably the biggest rivalry in Australian football. If you've ever been to one, it's unreal. It's state versus state. Like, everyone in the state supports one of the teams, and you have to share a match, and it was a miserable match Friday night too.
In the lay bin.
The AFL clashes. All right, Whitey, let's get stuck into Caulfield. Before we do, is there anything else you want to get stuck into in the lay bin, or is that it? We're done?
I'm pretty happy this week. I think you're the grumpy one, so if you've got anything else to add.
I've got a smile on my face, mate. I'm flying. Caulfield, let's head there for 3 races. Good 4, as always. There's not a cloud in the sky down here in sunny Melbourne. 24 degrees, rail in the true position. And the first favourite, having a look at race 4, the favourite is Yowie. Now, she's a smart filly, $3.50 at the moment. You can, fixed odds, you can bet her $3.60 or so on Betfair. You can lay her at $4. You're going to lay her, but I'm going to start off here because you wanted me to.
Yeah,
you read the run sheet. I've got an interesting stat here for you on this horse, mate. Now, 2-year-old fillies, 2-year-old horses, last 12 months, that have won on their debut and had their next start within 23 days. There's been 126 of them. For 32 winners at 25% strike rate and a plus 37% profit on turnover. So a 2-year-old on debut off a win within 3 or so weeks, backing up, they win again. Statistics say that. This filly will do it again. You just back them and you'll make a profit. Winners win, as I said. If you go back to 20 days, the percentage is even higher. It's absolutely amazing. She couldn't have done much more on debut. It was a dominant win. She ran fast time. Her late splits were sensational. I just can't see why she's not favourite here. Up to 1,100 metres suits. She's drawn perfectly for her. She'll be coming down the outside at Caulfield and prove very hard to beat again. I'm intrigued as to why you're laying Yowie.
Well, that's a very good stat.
It is a good, thank you.
Does that apply to Sandown first up winners?
Oh, I haven't done that specifically.
I need you to look at that.
I'll get back to you on the tweet with that
I'm
one,
not
mate.
sure about the Sandown form. I'm fine with making a lay case here, though, in a race. Like we said last week, we don't normally dive into these, but it's a good race for good prize money and some good horses. The run and win of Yowie at Sandown was quite impressive. Like, visually, she did it very easy. But I don't think there is a heap between it, Cannonball, and Wee Nessie here coming out of that. Nessie did it at Flemington in a listed race. Cannonball came back and smashed them at Geelong at very short odds. And there's even a horse here that I'm quite keen to see go around. That's Nick Ryan's horse in Port Albert. One to keep an eye on here for me. I'm real keen to see what the market does with this colt. But so many chances for mine, and I just can't be taking an opening quote of 350, 60, 70 there in race 4 at Caulfield. So I'm against. I'm
with the filly there in Yowie. We head to race 7, a 1,400 metre race. And there's another filly here in Belle Savoir. I'm going to start again here. This filly, she could be anything. She's won 2 from 2. She had a year break between the runs. She drifted a little bit first up and still won. Tells me she didn't parade, or she probably paraded with improvement there, Whitey. Nick Ryan came out on radio. You mentioned the trainer. He came out on radio and said she's the best of the day for him. So he came out on radio this morning.
I sent a text last night and did not get anything like that response.
Well, there you go. So he's telling, I've got him on the hook, don't worry. He's telling me the good oil. No, so he came out on radio and was very bullish about Belle Savoir. She ran superb time. She ran the fastest 1,000 metres of the day last start, Whitey. In fact, their last two starts, her final 400 have been the best on the day out of all races on both of those occasions. So she's clearly got ability. There's no reason why she can't win again. Fitter, Barry's 6 perfectly. McDougall's riding well. Going to be very hard to beat, and I'm with her again. Nick Ryan is confident, and so am I.
Nice. It would have been good to know that. No, but it's not a race I'm oozing with confidence. But the filly has returned after some major time off and was quite impressive there at Sandown, which makes her 2 from 2 in her career. Now she's in a handicap worth 70K. So I'm sure the camp are quite excited. Just not sure where she maps. I think she's a get-back horse. I think she'd be, like, if she's too far back and back near the rail, I think she might be giving these too much. She's facing harder opposition here, obviously, than previous. But Sonora comes off a couple of good wins with decent figures. Maracana and Artica comes back in class, the latter from a Group 2 where it pulled up with issues. If Belle Savoir goes on, though, to improve from its first up run, I thought it was quite green, but what it did late was quite impressive. Don't like the map, though, and there's quite a few ticks I give to the others as well, bringing them closer to her in price. So $3.70 opening quote for me is not a bet.
Got a bit of time for Arctica. Nice related horse too.
Do we know what happened at that start?
No, I don't think there are any excuses, but obviously wasn't right. 29 lengths beaten, but started at $6 there in that Group 2. So she's obviously got ability, but I'm with the favourite. I'll tell you what, if these two, Belle Savoir and Yowie, don't win, I'm going to put the Sandown form in the lay bin. Let's head to race 8, the last one we touch on, $130,000 plates over 1,600 metres. And you can go first here. Really interesting horse is Hosier. $3.20, $3.80 on Betfair, and you can lay about that $4.50 mark at the moment. Whitey.
Yeah, the market doesn't look to know too much right now.
They're probably nervous. So am I.
Yeah, very interesting and fascinating runner, as you like to say, Tom. Camelot Gelding came over here to Oz last prep. Won 4 on the trot as it worked through the grades quite well. In 4 of its last runs, it has SP'd odds on, including the last start at Flemington. I don't know what happened there, but it came home like a swaggerless manatee. That's a sea cow. You know what a manatee is?
No, mate.
They're very slow. They eat lettuce. But obviously...
How do you know that? Been doing your son's homework or something?
Yeah, no, like slowest animals in the world book and stuff, where they've got like snails and turtles and sloths. A manatee, if you look it up, very slow.
Right, there you go.
That's how he came home. So obviously something amiss there, though, 150 odd days ago. He returns here. Hickmott has 3 in the race at the moment as we speak. On Thursday.
None of them are winning.
Yeah, well, whether they're all in there, we're not sure. Using Alana Kelly to get the claim. If his stablemate runs, they map to get the lead of the race. So there could be some race tactics here, I would have thought.
What are you talking about, stable tactics, are you?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. You never know. So there's no point making a strong back case, though, for a horse we haven't seen for so long. Look to have issues. But we know this camp. If it's very well supported on the exchange late in particular, you would expect to see a very bold run.
You were meant to be backing him there. I didn't hear much to say you were confident about backing him. Now,
I gave a few things away, but
not much, mate. You gave nothing away. You need a lift. I'm on the lay side of this. I don't know how you can be confident backing this horse as favourite off what he did last start. No abnormalities found as well from the stewards, or nothing reported, which is bizarre. He got beaten a long way. Obviously, things weren't right. The stable, how well are they going? Well, they're not, Whitey. 81 starters in the last 6 months, 7 wins, negative 57% profit on turnover. Hard stable to bet on with confidence. As you say, they've got 3 in the race. You're hoping that this horse is right and ready to go here.
Yeah.
All his wins came on wet tracks as well. It's going to be a nice day on Saturday at Caulfield. It'll be a firm track by then. That's got to be a query for mine. As you said, all the wins came through the winter months on soft tracks. Alana Kelly's riding well. Also drawn barrier 12. Not sure where he gets to. I can't come into Hosier as favourite. So I'll be letting that one go through to the keeper. Now, you got something to say, do you?
Oh, no. You could have put that as your lay of the day.
Oh, no.
Instead of copying me. But we'll talk about that later.
You've been sneaking and look at the run sheet. I don't like this. Now, time for your wash up. The Hurricane, Whitey wash up.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Your headings aren't that good this week.
Oh, I thought they were pretty good. First one is Bendigo.
Not bad.
That's not bad. So the layers had a fill-up and the backers had their tail between their legs last week. 4 of the shortest and most popular runners all went under. Stretto, Cardigan Queen, Corner Pocket and Remark were all no good.
Yep.
And another plunge that another plunge that did not come off your boy, I Am Superman, who was smashed $7.80 into $4.70, nearly jumped favourite.
Well, we got the odds. Now, this is a lesson on Betfair as well. You can take the big price, you can lay off and still make money either way with those kind of moves.
So if you've taken the top price and you've laid off, all good.
Yep.
If you're just a regular batter, it didn't run a drum. So that's no good to anyone,
I just
Tom.
saved the winner, which was good, made a little bit of money on the race. And what did you say? You'd need to be... I'd seriously question.
I made a good argument
your
for Cherry
mental
Tortone.
Capabilities if
it was your best bet of the race. And then you saved it and then messaged me like suck eggs. Yeah. As if I'm going to cheer you for a save bet, mate. I Am Superman was one of your best bets of the day.
I was just cheering the fact that you said you got rocks in your head.
I won't take it. You'll be in the lay bin if you keep that up. Opposite day is the next heading because I just summarised Bendigo. So now if we look at Randwick, everything they touched turned to gold up there. So the majority of the faves they back got the chocolates. Straight Aaron, Nature Strip, Fireburn, Hitotsu and Semillon. The average BSP of those winners, Tom, was $2.95.
Jeez, short.
And their average high pre-play price was $3.64. I put that there just to show how hard they all were in the market, but how supported they all were when they won.
Fireburn drift a little bit late?
No, I don't think so.
I heard she paraded a bit sweaty, but...
No, very solid.
There you go.
The next one is Giant Slayers.
Yep.
Courtesy of our data boys at Betfair. Looking back at data to 2015 in Group 1 races. So let's look at the big races. We have had 9 Group 1 winners since 2015 who have BSP'd at $100 or more.
That's massive.
Of 9 of them, 7 of them have occurred at Flemington. Some names you'll remember: Prince of Penzance,
Don't mention Gadding.
Harlem,
Don't mention
and
Gadding.
Yeah,
I bet Gadding in Perth, the start prior, in a four-horse field, I reckon it was, and it came last. And it was like $4 there at Perth. And it runs
Slayer.
last, and it comes out and wins a Group 1 the next start at hundreds.
Giant Slayer.
out.
We've had 3 Group 1 winners hit the unicorn price of $990 in play. Those names: Lasquetti Spirit, Young Star up
How's
at
that
Doomben.
hit $999 in play?
Well, they just obviously thought the thing was going to go backwards.
And it didn't.
Luna Fox last year, I backed that. But the
Oh,
reason
here
I
he is.
brought this up is because we're obviously Sydney Cup weekend. This weekend in 2015, Grand Marshal hit 290 in play
Wowee.
when it won the Sydney Cup. Looking back at that, the Sydney Cup's been pretty good to me. I backed that and Who Shot the Barman?
Yeah, Who Shot the Barman
And
was good.
Salino last year.
Well, you're flying, mate.
So maybe I should just stick to Sydney
Just
Cup
one
races.
better year.
Yeah.
Just Sydney Cup. All right, let's get stuck into the Sydney meeting. Let's do it. Hopefully they run. Heavy 10 at Randwick. Obviously, it'll be absolutely bottomless. Rail out 4 metres, 21 degrees, rain forecast, showers forecast, as you'd expect, being up there in Sydney. We start with race 4. We're doing races 4 to 9. The Group 2 Percy Sykes Stakes Whitey. Paris Dior is the favourite, $2.40. She's been well back throughout the week. $2.55 Betfair. You can lay her at $2.80-ish at the moment on the exchange. You're against her.
You jumped out of trees to back this.
I can lay off now. I've got the price, Whitey.
You are very, very keen. The spreadsheet had notes in it declaring it before.
Can you stop reading the spreadsheet
before
in my
I
notes
even
before
got?
you come? This is cheating.
Well, you're normally real late. You're putting in comments like at 10, 11 o'clock at night. But this time you had
Because I
notes.
work hard. I haven't
This
got
was
time to shave.
This was a cut and copy job for you, declaring this horse. So I didn't even get to watch the trial before your notes went in, so I obviously thought that it had trialled well.
you
So
stop reading my
I went
notes?
back and watched it. You're pretty keen on her ability, but my big question mark is this price, 240, 250. Is it a value backing proposition? And I argue, Tom, that it isn't.
Yep.
I really do. Where does she land in the run? I'm worried you're going to be 3 or 4 back on the pegs, and you could be prairie dogging as they come round the corner. And the heavy argument can be made. Trialled in the heavy. Mum and Dad both went in it, which is fine. But race day is different, mate. Race day, race pressure, not just heavy. This will be, if they run, heavy. I'm just not sure. In the English Millennium, she made good ground, but the figure wasn't like she ate the line over 1,100 when you go back and watch it. I don't think you're getting running room here. And $2.50 on a heavy deck is all yours.
You got a winner for us? You like anything or no? You're just against Paris? You're just laying Paris that you play?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like Pantenario as an interesting horse?
I did. I thought that was an interesting one. I thought, I just don't, how can we be tipping into the first race that we preview at Randwick before we see the track is my issue.
Fair enough. I'm with her. As you said, she's trialled the house down on 2 occasions now, both at Randwick, on a soft 7 and then a heavy 9. She actually worked with the stablemate She's a Belter during the week. No, it was a week or so ago. Had the better of She's a Belter in that wet conditions in that work, in my opinion. James McDonald's been very keen to stay with this filly. Now, he rode her to win at Canterbury for fun. She trounced her rivals then. He rode her in the Millennium. He ridden her in the 2 trials. He sticks with her. She couldn't have done anything more in those 2 trials. Outstanding piece of work. As you said, the barrier is a little tricky one, but you've got the best jockey in the land to negotiate that. We saw Fireburn come down the inside last week and win. I think this filly can do the same, and I think she's the horse to beat. I do actually think she's short enough at the moment, and I think we'll get closer to $3 on the day, and I'll be taking some of that $3. So
that was a poor argument. Like, for example, for how
go and watch the trials, mate. Don't just read my comment. Watch the trials.
How excited you were, I just thought that I've got you on the ropes there. You didn't want to
give me a spell.
You didn't want to come back.
Give me a spell.
Anyway, let's move on to what are we up to? Race 5.
Race 5, the Arrowfield 3-year-old sprint. Good race, 1,200 metres, Group 2. You're with the favourite in the Congo. You think he can win. Getting about $3.80 on Betfair at the moment. Lay for $4.50 at the moment. You're with him?
Yeah, I can make a back argument. Right, the opening price I'm not real keen to dive into, but I'm really interested to see where the market ends up. With both Paulelli and Marzu like in the market at the moment. It's a very close quote. It's actually quite open. So who lands on favourite, I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see. has had 8 starts and finished in the top 2 6 times in group class company. Has only missed the place once, and that was in the Coolmore at Flemington, where it SP'd at $7 against Home Affairs. He gets up on speed. He'll be fitter than his first up run when Shelby 66 got him. That was his first on a heavy. He stretched out okay.
Did he?
Yeah. For a first up run on a heavy deck, he's beaten Paulelli and Animo in the past. So, yes, he is easy to make an argument for. Just a little bit worried, though, about a genuine heavy 10 and what it does late, especially if he leads, because I don't know how you're more of a Sydney man than I, but they could have to push off the track and come a bit wide. I don't know if leading and trying to tow that field in on a heavy deck is going to be real good for him late.
I think leading will be hard, as it often is at Randwick, especially in the mud. And that's my query with him, mate. So I think if you'll get past him late, you say he's beaten Palele in the past. Palele's beaten him in the past too. No bias tracks here. I know he's beaten Animo in a run of the Rose. No bias, Kembla Grange or Rose Hill tracks here. It's going to be much harder to lead. I think Palele's a better horse. I think Mizzou is absolutely flying. What's he done wrong? He's absolutely flying. He's a mutter. He's rock hard fit, got the fitness edge over in the Congo, and that's the way I'm playing. Even the Melbourne horses, Generation and General Bow, they're both in the market. Like Generation started $6.550 in a William Reid last start. There's no September runs here. This is an easier assignment. And, query in the wet. But, it's just enough for me to not be with in the Congo there. I think there's a few horses that can beat him. Let's push on. The Australian Oaks. And I'm stepping up here.
This will be good, this. This is my favourite one. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know why I said I'm with the favourite here and you laughed at me. So this will be interesting. You've probably read my notes. But Honeycreeper's the favourite. $4.50, $4.80 on Betfair at the moment, so you're getting a decent price. You can layer at $5.40, Whitey. I'm interested to see if you're going to put your nuts on the line and $5.40 going to layer. Take that. Plenty of horses have won the Adrian Knox ATC double, including Colette in 2020 in the wet tracks.
I'm just going to sit back for a little bit.
I'm so nervous about your argument, but what more could this horse have done last start? She, her final 600 and 400, well over a second faster than any other horse in that race. Her over 2,000 metres on a heavy track, Honeycreeper ran 12.04 the final 200 metres. 2,000 metre race, Whitey. 4th fastest final 200 of the day. What more could she have done? She trounced her rivals. She's a mutter. She's on the back up. I love it. She gets through the wet. No issue with barrier 15. Bowman riding superbly. She'll be charging late. She'll be fitter than her rivals. You got Hinged and those. You're probably going to make a case. They're 1850 up to 2,400 on a heavy track. I am with Honeycreeper here, and I think she's going to be very, very hard to beat. And you're smiling. I don't like this. Why are you laying her?
I can never, ever forgive this horse for getting smashed off the map into odds on and not winning the Tassie Oaks.
So this is a heart bet, is it? Yeah.
In Launceston for the Cup Carnival when I was down there.
Did you not see what she did last week?
She got beaten by Bundle of Fun and Miss Charlie Brown. Mm-hmm. These names are lesser known than what the Producer boys over here have here with the football players from 2004. No doubt the blinkers improved her last start, though, and she won well. And Bowman does love winning this race. I'm surprised you didn't drop some of your things. 5 wins of the last 13, Bowman. She's gone from a Class 1 second in January, lost odds on in a listed in February, and now she's favourite in $1 million Group 1 race.
She's a stayer, mate.
There isn't much speed, right, in this race. Hinge might lead on its ear. So it's a big chance. Gypsy Goddess, I know you didn't like last start, but I actually think it'll relish the step up here.
Yeah, it got beaten by 5 lengths.
Yeah, it'll relish. That's all right. Look at the step up in distance.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Heavy track?
That'd be okay. Quite a few chances here in a very open market at the pointy end. And the opening quote doesn't interest me at all, Thomas. Looking back, you have recent winners, Very Elegant, Hungry Heart, Jewess ran second or third, I think, last year, Colette. She is not the same gravy. It is not a back bet for me. You back it.
Who is the same gravy?
That's not my argument.
Oh, I'll be backing a Honey Creeper for me in the ATC Australian Oaks. Now, this one's going to be interesting. Stockman, you've got the easiest job in the world laying this horse's favourite. Yeah. And Sydney Cup, $4.80, about that 5.10 mark on Betfair. You can lay Honey Creeper. You can lay Stockman at $6, and you're doing it.
Boy, ain't he short.
Jeez.
I mention this because this race is notorious for a big odds winner. Not many faves win.
No.
How fit will he need to be by race 7 on a bottomless track? There are a lot of negatives here, especially, more importantly, on the price, right?
Yep.
We speak about this all the time when we're laying things, we make lays of the day. Remember, we're looking at odds we're seeing right now. So we're seeing a $4.80 opening quote, and we're seeing $5 to $6 on Betfair. He's not terrible, right? He's not a terrible horse. He's a pretty good horse.
He's a good horse.
But there's just a lot. There's a lot to knock here. If you look back through its form, it's run in the Hunter, the Villiers, and the Chipping Norton, which are all mile races. And here we are running in one of our hardest staying races here in Australia. Feels like a little bit of a backup plan for me. Alicia Collett is going at a negative 68% ROI on her last 50 runs. She isn't a very experienced Randwick rider either. The Chairman's is normally the best lead-up race for this. He wasn't in it. The second Deduous looked decent, but the Chosen One should have finished with him in the race if you go back and watch it. And I'd say the Chosen One is a better stayer.
Just not a Weddy.
Yeah, but just absolutely cannot come at $4.80. I'll be surprised if it doesn't drift. I can't touch those odds. Like I said, not hopeless. I just thought it would be $10.
Yep. Yeah, I've got nothing to add.
Yeah.
I can't make a case for this horse at this price. I don't know how. I wouldn't touch him at tens.
Imagine if it gets backed, how scared we're going to be.
He's a swimmer. That's a positive. He's won 4 from 7 on a heavy. He's got 2 seconds on his side. He's peaking now, 4th up into this. I just can't come into him, and I'm finding it really hard to back him at this price. As I said, I wouldn't touch him at tens. He's had 29 starts, Whitey. I'm making my lay argument, but he's had 29 starts, and now they're thinking of testing him over 2,400 for the first time in a 3,200 metre Sydney Cup on a heavy 15.
So is he just completely priced off the way he chased Juice?
Yes, yep. Yeah. He's still got beaten 3.5. The Chosen One was right there in the mix, as you said. And that was on a soft 6. Up to this trip now, 3,200 on heavy 10. Not for me. I'm with you. Alicia Collett, I'll prefer the stronger riders over this trip too. You can have him.
So you have a crack at me every time I don't give a strong argument.
You
drew
here, mate.
The backside. You told me I could lay Stockman, and you've given us nothing.
Nah, because I'm laying him too. Race 8. What a race this is. This has to be one of the best races we've ever seen. The Group 1 Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Hopefully the track's in decent condition. Our mate from SEN made a comment about why don't they run these races earlier in the day? So we're not race 8 on a heavy 10. We might not even get to this race. Instead, we'll be running the highways and the midways and all them early. It's not a bad point. But the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, Group 1, 2,000 metres. We did a poll during the week as well. Whitey, you've got the results for us?
Yes.
What was the poll?
53% are laying Very Elegant this week. So obviously 47% are backing.
The poll was accurate last week too with Nature Strip. They were 50-50 basically, and he did firm into about that 210, 220 mark.
Yeah, and there's a couple of comments, but they all basically say exactly what I say, which is, how good is this race? You'll hear this a few times over the next few days. Very Elegant opens up around the $3.20 mark as we speak. Overall, it's pretty easy to make a back argument for me. I'm on the backside for 11-time Group 1 winner over multiple distances. We spoke about Nature Strip last week and how Chris Waller is a grand final trainer, and this is it. The track will be heavy. We know she stays. J-Mac chooses to stick. She hasn't missed the top 2 and on a heavy deck in her career. Waller has won this race 5 times. Yes, 3 were with Winks, but she ran second last year in this race, and it was a good fall that day. A heavy track is more suitable. In the spring, she went under in the Turnbull, and Cox played at short odds, then came out and won a Melbourne Cup. She's a grand final horse. She's a fighter. She loves Randwick. The only question mark will be if she's still going as good as last year, Tom, And it seems weird to stay after winning a Group 1-2 back, but it just wasn't by a margin. And there are a handful of horses here that are absolutely flying. So I doubt I'll be diving into the price. Waller, J-Mac, Very Elegant, though. You'd be taking them on at your own risk. And it's pretty much exactly what the Twitter comments said. Reese Smith commented and said, Waller, J-Mac, grand final day. But surely she's a lay, he said. She can sit and round these up. She said it was more positive and you can get out in play. So that's interesting.
Angle.
A couple of people mentioning the old Betfair angles. Eddie Wilson, you little beauty. Waller, J-Mac, grand final day equals big performance. Nature Strip proved that last week. All she has left to achieve in Australia is win either the Queen Elizabeth and the Cox Plate.
Well, I'm against Eddie there. Very Elegant. She looks way too short for me. You backed Montefilia last start, Whitey. Montefilia was stronger late, held Very Elegant clearly on the line. I thought she was better. I can't come into Very Elegant as favourite against Montefilia just on that run alone.
Yep.
Then you've got Dwayne, who's absolutely airborne. What's she done wrong? She's won her last two. She should have won the Shipping Norton. She finished sixth there, was on the fence, came out wide, had no luck. I think she beats Very Elegant there. Then you've got the All-Star Mile form. You've got Zaki. Now, if Zaki gets through the wet, he wins. He won the All-Star Mile in dominant fashion, which is the race that produced the trifecta in the Doncaster last week. That form's outstanding. I cannot see Very Elegant favourite here. I know she's a heavy track horse, but no for me. People have come in and said grand final horse compared to Nature Strip. Nature Strip's completely different. Third up, 20-day break or whatever. Nature Strip peaks more so than any other horse on grand final 1200. This is a completely different story, different horse. I'm against Very Elegant, and you can have her at the price. Let's head to the last of the Group 1s, the Queen of the Turf Stakes, 1,600 metres. Colette is favourite here, about that $4 mark, and you are with her.
Yeah, historically hasn't really been one of mine. Bit hard to catch. But looking back through her form, she's had some excuses. She won the Tristarc and then the Emperor Rose on a good 4 in spring and then went lame in the McKinnon. 2 back in the Chipping Norton, she ended up with lacerations. She was tucked away with no galloping room in that race, though, and never got to extend out and have a crack at them. She SP'd $3.60 in that race against Very Elegant, Montefilia, and Think It Over. Our friends at Punting Form, who we work with at Betfair, say the Equicast is coming off here.
Yes.
I am no vet. I won't pretend to be one. But I think that may mean that maybe some feet issues have come good.
Yes.
Which is obviously a positive for her. She's down in class. J-Mac rides. The map should allow, what I like about it is the map should allow her to be just off speed and have a crack at them down the middle late, which is how I think Rand will play, and I actually think these conditions really suit. So even though I said she's not normally one of mine, I actually think she looks up to her ears here, and that $4 to $5 mark on Betfair actually looks like a very, very fair price.
Yep, no, that's fair. The Equicast is an interesting one because she ran 5th in the Mackay Diva, then she had 5 weeks off in the spring back at Caulfield, and she ran in the Tristarc. She won that. She had feet issues then. So I dare say that's the same thing. She was meant to run the Caulfield Cup on the same day, and she ended up running, instead of 2,400 metres, she ran over 1,400 metres. Just not convinced she's going as well. I know the Equicast comes off, James McDonald stays on, but I'm not sure she's going as well. Something had to run second behind Forbidden Love last start. Laws of Indices got lapped in a Doncaster. Forbidden Love was the best weighted horse in a Doncaster, couldn't win. I'm not sure that's brilliant form. I do concede she's a chance, and she's probably around that mark. Just the price for me, I'm not convinced she's going that well. I think Ice Bath, she's due for a Group 1 win. She's absolutely flying.
She is. I mean, that's the main danger, isn't it? The two real heavy trackers. I think the best ride probably wins. But like when we talk about price, I'm just thinking though, like $5 looks fair. Like I know you're saying not going as good, but when you look at the rest of them, you've got Ice Bath, but what else are you giving?
I agree. And the way for age, you've got Colette, Lighthouse and Ice Bath, 112, 110, 108 rated, even she at the bar. They're carrying the same weights, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
So they're very well off. I agree. Colette's got to be in the mix. $5 is a bet. $4.20 on Betfair is probably short enough for me there. Time for your best back and best lay, Whitey. Come at me.
Best back. I found this hard. I actually genuinely found it hard to find a bet that I wanted to dive into early. One, because there was a lot of like unknowns in the Melbourne form that we did. Like these first and second starters, first up, and then what track will we actually get at Randwick? At the moment, I've landed on that last one I just argued of that one, and that's Colette. We could get an each way price if it gets out past $5 on Betfair. And I think her and Ice Bath are the Wayne two that are going to battle it out. I'm happy to make Colette a back bet. And my best lay is Stockman, which I argued the lay side of in the Sydney Cup. I just think $4.80 is just incredibly short for me. I thought it'd be $10. I think there's way too many knocks to be anywhere near that price. So Stockman is a lay. Randwick race 7 for me.
My best bet, race 6 in the Oaks Honeycreeper. She was enormous last start. Her last 200 was fantastic. 12:04, final 200 of the day. 4th fastest of the day. Extraordinary over that distance. 2,400 metres, no issue. Wet, no issues. Back up, no issues. She's my best. And I'm with you in the Sydney Cup, mate. We're laying the same horse, Stockman. I can't believe this horse is favourite. Favourites don't win this race. Alicia Collette, barrier 13. 2,400 to 3,200, heavy track. Can't have. We're both against Stockman. Who knows what we'll do if that wins? We might not have another show, but thank you for joining us. It's been a huge show. Anything to add before we go, mate?
No. Punt well. Go well. Have a good day. Take your umbrella if you go to the races.
All the best. We'll be back to do it all again next week on Layback with Betfair. Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858.